And then I saw a flower and I wept. I wept with joy because the flower was so beautiful. It's like, if you get tired enough, like everything makes you feel emotional like that. This is Climbing Gold. When you ultimately did the Goliath, was it fun? I mean, was it joyous or was it stressful? Was it, did it feel extreme or was it great?
It was all of the above. It was a complete package.
Your kitty's very excited.
Yeah, I think he's getting jealous that I'm giving you so much time and not focusing on him. I feel like it started on on a very sad note because my wife was dropping me off at the trailhead because we did this big car shuttle, so I can drop off my car at the trailhead where I'm finishing. And she's not a climber at all. And after driving me from one trailhead to another for about an hour and looking at the ridgeline that I was pointing out to her that I'm traversing, she got pretty scared for me. And I just tried to play it cool and show my confidence. But as I left the trailhead, I like started tearing up. I was not as as confident as I was trying to show her. So
that's pretty classic for your wife to suddenly see the Traverse and be like, wait, what are you doing for the week of, it's like she sees you pack everything and she's like, oh, you're going backpacking for a week. That'll be a good adventure. And then she sees it and she's like, wait, what the fuck? Yeah, it's like an entire mountain range.
yeah, she doesn't understand the difference between doing something like the Goliath and climbing Snake Dyke, or she's not a climber at all, which is great because she just loves me for who I am, and I don't have to feel like I have to keep climbing hard or doing anything rad. But then when it started, I was having a lot of fun for the first probably 3-4 days, and then you just get like your skin gets sore, your muscles get fatigued, your quads get destroyed by all the downhill that you have to do. You get worked by not sleeping much out there. It's really hard to sleep at 13,000 feet because of the kit that I packed. I had a 1 pound quilt that I was sleeping in, so it wasn't very warm. And every day I was nervous about the following day, so sleeping was difficult. So I feel like you just end up with so much more fatigue because you're exerting really hard and under recovering, not giving yourself as many calories as you should be when you're exerting that hard. And then at night, you don't get to recover as well because you're not sleeping restfully.
If you were to do it again, would you do your gear differently at all?
It would be very hard to take a sleeping bag because when you add 8 days of food and snacks, 4 liters of water in your sleeping kit, like
Yeah, it's heavy.
you end up with a back. I think my backpack when I started was about 25 pounds, which sounds pretty light, but and most of that was food. I think my whole sleeping kit was like 3 pounds, plus fuel, but it's enough weight that when you're scrambling 5'8" and 5'9", it
You
feels
notice.
heavy enough.
Yeah,
And
yeah, totally.
you don't have climbing shoes. You're just doing it all in your approach shoes. So it feels like the slimmer you can keep your backpack, the better you will feel on such exposed and consequential terrain.
I feel like sometimes when you sleep better, then you recover better, and then you move faster. And so then if you can cut one day of food out, like that's the tough thing with planning out some giant challenge like this is that, if you manage to go a little faster, then you carry a little less, but then you never know quite how fast you'll be able to move, and you don't want to wind up like running out of food halfway across some traverse. I don't know. It's so extreme.
Yeah, it's really hard to plan all these things out because
So
most of the time you don't know if you will be pinned down by a storm, for example. Like on one of the days, I had to cut my day much shorter because I was climbing through a giant windstorm. Like at one point, I was doing this part of the traverse called the Palisade Crest. I'm not sure if you heard of it, but it's one of the rather traverses that you can do in the Sierra that's not very well known.
Hmm.
It has about 12 or 15 exposed pinnacles, and it's just between the regular Palisade Traverse and the middle Palisade. But basically, I was stemming between two gendarmes, and I'm pretty good at flexibility because I used to do kickboxing, Muay Thai, and I was trying to get from one to another. And while I was fully stretched out, I got hit by a big gust of wind, which knocked me off one of my holds. And I almost barn doored. Thank God one of the jogs on one side was large enough that I was basically able to do the cliffhanger on that and get over. It was kind of extreme on
That's
that
that's
day.
that's exactly what your wife was worried about. You're like, oh,
Yeah,
geez. Yeah.
and so was I, But yeah, basically, things like unexpected windstorms or thunderstorms could always get in your way, and if you don't prepare for them by not bringing a shell or, maybe cutting your provisions short, then you can basically pay for it in the long run.
Mm. So what was the high point of the traverse? Not the literal high point, but what was your favorite moment of your week long climbing by yourself in the Sierra?
Finishing.
Classic.
Yeah, I cried for like 10 minutes
Oh
straight.
yeah.
Yeah, I just felt so liberated.
Well, and you must have been so depleted. Also, that's the classic thing. Like, have you ever seen any of those shows, like the endurance race shows and things, where all the contestants just cry all the time, and you're like, if you've been doing nothing but hard physical activity for 3 days straight, you're like so rubbed raw that like your emotions are just on your sleeve like that. Like
Yeah,
any little thing, you're like, and then I saw a flower and I wept. I wept with joy because the flower was so beautiful. It's like, if you get tired enough, like everything makes you feel emotional like that.
yeah. I feel like I did not weep for joy because of any flowers, but I wept of joy because I know that my obsession over this project came to an end, and I don't have to think about it one more day. Like I swear to God, I feel like it got unhealthy at one point where I was literally obsessed thinking about the Goliath every day of my life, because it just seemed so overwhelming and so impossible.
Why do you think that particular project grabbed you more than other projects have? I mean, because you've done so many first ascents and so many cool climbs and climbed all over the place. Like, why did the Goliath, grab you like that?
It was the biggest thing I could think of that a human could do alpine style, uh, that I could think of. I
Hmm.
don't know. And it just seemed so unlikely to be able to do it.
You mean it was so perfectly on the threshold of possible versus impossible, where you're like, oh, it's so close to being impossible, but then I think it's funny. Those are the types of projects that have always grabbed me over the years, where you're like, oh, it's crazy, but then you're like, but I think it's maybe possible, and then you're like, I don't know, and then it like tickles the back of your mind forever, being like, well, but yeah, the traverse I did in Red Rock kind of felt the same way for me. Whereas like, I kind of played with the idea on and off for a couple years, and you're like, well, maybe it's possible. I don't know. Is it too big? Is it too much? And you're like, do I even want to do that? But then you're like, but I think it's possible. And then you're like, oh, you have to try. But
Oh yeah, those are
no.
the best goals, because they are the ones that drive you to improve,
Hmm.
and there's no other way around it. At least for me, I can't just go to the climbing gym or any gym if I do not have some sort of a goal that I'm training for. I need to have a carrot at the end that I'm trying to get to.